How to hire a graphic designer. So you want to hire a graphic designer? Great. Let me walk you through the steps of hiring a virtual graphic designer from the Philippines. So step number one is to decide what kind of designer you want, because not all design is the same. User interface design isn't the same as graphic design, which is not the same as logo design. So you should decide first, what do I really need in my business? Step number two is to go to OnlineJobs.ph and browse the resumes. So when you go to browse the resumes, you're going to go into Online Jobs and you're going to search in the search box, graphic designer. Now, when you go to look at the resumes, you're looking for a couple things. Number one, you're looking just to discover what exists here. Like, what kind of skills can I find? What kind of experience do people have? How good are they? Do they have portfolios? You're going to see all kinds of different skill levels. Next, you're looking to see salary ranges so that you know about what you should be hiring at. Which leads you to step number three, is to post your job on OnlineJobs.ph and let people start applying to your job. So when you go to post your job, after you've already browsed the resumes, you have a really good idea of the skills, the specific skills that you're looking for, because you've seen what kind of skills people have, and you have a good idea of the salary you're going to pay. Which leads us to step number four, which is to interview people with lots of questions. So when I interview people, the first thing to do is not to do a Skype interview. And I cover that, and why you are making a big mistake if doing a Skype interview is your first thing. I cover that in my 1VAOA challenge, 1VAOA.com. Next step, step number five, is to narrow it down with a test. So you're going to ask them to do some sort of a design test. Design this logo, or design this page for me, or create a graphic for this. Whatever it is, depending on your specific type of designer that you're hiring, you're going to have them do a test. And when you do this test, you should probably pay for it. So Filipinos are very scared about doing a bunch of work and not getting paid. So if you tell them, hey, I want you to do a test, I'm having these other 4 people do this test also, I'm going to pay you $10 for this design that you're doing. When you've done the test, the next thing is, it's not necessarily who does this test the best that is the correct person to hire. It's who do you work with the best? Who do you mesh with the best? Because most people are going to have some good design skills. You can modify to your style later. However, you're not really going to modify their personality and how well you work with them later. So then step number 6 is to negotiate terms with them. Now, hopefully you've narrowed this down to 1 or 2 people. If it's just one, you're negotiating how much they want to make. You're negotiating working time, like how many hours a week, or when are they going to do that, or schedule, or holidays, or paid time off, or whatever you're going to do, you're going to negotiate with that with them. And if you haven't narrowed it down to just one person yet, then hopefully these negotiations help you narrow it down. So this next step, step number 7, is hire the person. Give them their first task. Say, when can you start? You'll often find that in the Philippines, they'll say, well, I can start tomorrow, or I can start on Monday. And that's different than a lot of times in the US, where it's like, oh, well, we need to bring you on board, and that's going to take us 6 weeks. And that's not how it works. You get someone starting now to help you in your business right now. So like I mentioned before, this hiring process is not super complicated, but it's also something that is easy to make a mistake, hire the wrong person, and then you've gone through this whole hiring process and not found a good designer. I can make that easy for you. I recorded my entire recruiting process where I never asked the question, how do I know if I'm going to find a good person? Because I know if I follow my recruiting process, I'm going to find a good person almost every single time. And I've made that recruiting process a step-by-step walkthrough where you will know everything to do at every step of the process, and it's available at 1VAOA.com. So head over to 1VAOA.com, get my challenge. It takes 7 days, and actually you can speed through it if you want, or you can take a little bit longer if you want, but it will walk you through so that you know everything to do at each step of the process. My name is John Jonas. I created OnlineJobs.ph, which is the largest marketplace for finding virtual workers in the Philippines.